games that took place yesterday, and that's where I want to start, is in the NBA. Classic rivalry, the Lakers, the Celtics. This rivalry has been officially renewed, and it perhaps seemed a little bit dormant for several years. Lakers were good, Celtics were bad. Celtics were winning. They reached the finals last year. Lakers have been just kind of keeping their head above water the last few seasons since they won the championship in 2020. But the rivalry is back, and you could feel it. The energy, the intensity, the passion, all of that is still there. Perhaps the loathing of one another isn't quite as present anymore because all these athletes are friends. They practice together in the offseason. They train together. But the desire and the eagerness to win the game, and especially because of the colors on the other jerseys, is still very much apparent and very tangible. So that's the positive, is the Lakers and Celtics, that rivalry still exists very much. And last night's game was a wild, wild game that the Celtics ultimately won 122-118 in overtime in Los Angeles. They had just played a back-to-back. And I'll touch on the Celtics and what impressed me about them, and specifically Jason Tatum, in a moment. But this game featured some wild runs. Celtics led by as many as 20. Lakers then went on an inexplicable 32-5 run. I think at one point it was about a 40-something to 12 run to take what should have been a commanding 13-point lead with 4 minutes to play. And ultimately, the Celtics closed on a 17-4 run to send it into overtime. That was sparked by Jason Tatum with a game-high 44. But this game revealed a lot to me, and especially the last few minutes revealed a lot about the juxtaposition between the Lakers and the Celtics. The age gap, older players, youthful players that looked fresher down the stretch, that seemed almost excited by the waning minutes and the longer this game went. And it also highlighted the contrasting styles in terms of the approach to the game, almost that game within the game. And when I looked at the Lakers, as great as they had looked for about a 10 to 12 minute stretch from midway through the third all the way to the 4-minute mark in the fourth, ultimately those last 4 minutes just revealed the age gap and how tired and absolutely expended and extinguished emotionally that these, and physically, that these Lakers players were down the stretch. LeBron and AD did not come out of the fourth quarter. They played the entire fourth quarter, and by the last couple of minutes, they looked absolutely gassed. They ran out of energy. It had been absolutely extinguished. All the energy, they expended so much to mount this comeback that they just didn't have legs down the stretch. And the Celtics, despite the fact that they had just played the night before, they looked like the fresher team down the stretch. Now, the Lakers, to be fair to them, you can argue, well, they just returned home from a 6-game road trip. But by that same logic, then you would essentially negate that huge run that gave them, that put them in that position to be up by 13 down the stretch.